And from the CKY Late News Hour Fact File.
The stat man.
Yes, 14,578 at the arena tonight. Pretty good crowd.
These crowd's the best crowd for a Soviet game yet this year. Thanks, Clay Young, a rookie goaltender up from the minors, stole the show at the arena tonight as Stefan Beauregard backstopped the Jets to an impressive 4-1 victory over the touring Soviet Central Red Army team. Now, it's the first time Winnipeg has hosted a Soviet team since 1980 when the Jets were pounded 7-0 by Moscow Dynamo. This time round, it was the Jets controlling the outcome. The Jets giving their regular netminders the night off to bring up Stefan Beauregard up from Fort Wayne of the International Hockey League for a look. And the Jets open up the game, scoring just over 10 minutes in. Thomas Steen picks off Butsaev's pass and pumps in a quick snapper through Artur Urbe's pads for a 1-0 lead. One scary moment for the Jets late in the first. Dale Howardchuk takes a deflected pass right in the face. A few stitches and he was able to return in the second to help set up the Jets' second goal on the power play. Steen to Howardchuk, capped off by Freddie Olesen moving into the slot, and it's 2-0 Winnipeg on top. That was all the scoring in the middle frame, although the Cern stopping Vladimir Konstantinov's point shot period action, and Mark Kumpel puts the Jets up 3-0 only 39 seconds in. It's a solo effort. He fires one by Artur Urbe. The Soviets' lone goal in the game came from a Jets draft pick. 199th overall back in 1988, Pavel Kostichkin, parting the pads of Beauregard the only time he was beaten on the night. The Jets rounded out the game scoring. Doug Smale catches up to a pass in the Soviet zone, and he's Winnipeg with its first win as an NHL team against the Soviets, 4-1 the final. Yeah, the Red Army playing its first of 5 games on this North American tour. Once again, as Clay mentioned, a great crowd, 14,578 showing up for the game. By far the best attendance at a Soviet NHL game this season. The Jets resume their regular schedule Friday when they are on the road in Calgary. And now to games that count in the standings. The Edmonton Oilers were hosting the Philadelphia Flyers tonight. Edmonton going in with 45 points in the Smythe. They led the division while the Flyers were tied for the lead in the Patrick, and they still are, as the team scored all their goals in the third period, with Edmonton getting 2 of the 3. They won it 2-1. We'll pick up the highlights now. John Muckler at the helm for the Oilers. First period action, there was no scoring through 1 period of play. Of the chances, Charlie Heide got away this point shot, and Dave Brown, the Oilers super sniper, went in alone, but he was foiled by Ken Reggett. That was it pretty well for the highlights, all we got anyway. They went into the third period scoreless, and Edmonton got 2 quick ones. They went on to a 2-1 victory. Of the goal scorers, Esa Tikkanen and Graves scoring for Edmonton, while West Coast, now the defending Stanley Cup champions, taking on the LA Kings. Second place in the Smythe on the line in this evening's game. And both teams heading into 41 points to their credit. The Flames will open things up. Some nice stick work on the part of Joey Moe, and he heads to the net. The puck will stay right with him. And you'll pick it out of the corner and feed Joel Otto at the side with the jam, and it's 1-0 Flames out on top. Now the Flames go up 2-0. It'll be Gary Suter eventually getting the puck. He'll carry it into the Kings and slide a picture-perfect pass over to Joe Nieuwendyk. No chance for Rudy. Right now the team's in the third period. And lo and behold, the LA Kings have now got themselves a 3-2 lead. Again, they are stuck in the... We're not sure at this point. The New York Rangers were sunk by the play of one man tonight, and that was Mario Lemieux, racking up a couple of goals and 3 assists. He extended his point-scoring streak to 26 games as the hometown Penguins handed the visiting Rangers another setback. New York's now winless in 9 straight games, and this guy had himself another impressive show. The King Penguin, Mario, team's tied at 2, second period. Mario setting up Rob Brown, a beautiful feed. Goes in alone on Van Beesbroek. He gets his 15th. It's 3-2 Pittsburgh. Alquist setting up Lemieux on the break. No chance for Johnny V. The Penguins rolling out to a 7-4 victory. Lemieux with his 3rd multiple-goal game of the season, and his 26 games with a point are the best in the league this year. While the Rangers stuck in a major rut, they're winless in 9. John Van Beesbroek also winless in 9. He is 0-6-3. We had a wild one in Toronto tonight as the Leafs took themselves a 7-3 lead into the third period against Detroit. But the Wings mounted one of the best comebacks of the season, scoring 4 straight in the final 20 minutes, including 3 power play goals from Jimmy Carson. But the game got ugly in the overtime frame as high sticks and a lot of hot heads took center stage. Peter Ing started things off for the Leafs, and we'll pick it up. Second period, Leafs are up 3-2. They get their 4th when Gary Lehman will get his 2nd goal of the game on the rebound. We'll clip right along to the third period of play. The Leafs appear to be in control. They led 7-3, but the Wings caught fire. An off-balance Jimmy Carson will tie the game at 7 apiece, his 3rd goal of the parade. To overtime, the Wings pressuring when Kevin McClellan catches Rob Ramage, butt into the face. That brought out some blood and some heated exchanges. Ramage got up and booted over to the Wings bench to challenge the team. Got a few choice words for Demers and company. And then Leafs coach Doug Carpenter took over. He gave his jaw a workout. He wants a piece of Wing coach Jacques Demers. A wild one in Toronto. This one ended in a 7-2 draw. Carson with 3 power play goals. Steve Yzerman also had a couple for the Wings. Gary Lehman and Wendell Clark had 2 apiece for Toronto. Well, we've now got a logjam at the top of the Patrick Division after tonight's action. The Washington Capitals on the road at the Meadowlands to play the Jersey Devils. The end result, a 3-1 Capital victory. That moved them into a first-place tie with New Jersey. And with the Philadelphia Flyers, Caps opened things up 1-0. Chris Terreri led to fend for himself. Scott Stevens had some easy pickings in front. And this is the way things went for the Devils. A 2-on-1. The guy fires a slap shot over the glass. Second period, Don Beaupre, the story for Washington. Patrick Sundstrom comes out of the corner, but he's stopped by Beaupre in front. Washington going up 2-0. No defensive help for Terreri. Nick Kiprios will wrap one past the double netminder. The lone goal to beat Beaupre was in the third period. Sundstrom to Brendan Shanahan. Not enough. The Capitals winning 3-1. They take a share of first place in the Patrick. The Caps, one of the best road teams of the year. They've won 8 of their past 11 out of the suitcase. Goaltender Don Beaupre also hot, 6-3 in his past 9 games. One other official game in the NHL tonight. That has the Vancouver Canucks leading the Canadiens 1-0 in the third period. Vladimir Krutov has scored for the Canucks. And one other exhibition game tonight. The Whalers over the Wings, Soviet Wings, 4-3 in overtime. Kevin Denis with the overtime winner. The Wings' second straight loss. They were 5-4 losers to the Islanders last night. Well, it looks like the Chicago Blackhawks are going to have to dip into their farm supply to pull up a tough guy for the next 13 games. Dave Manson will be watching from the press box until January 27th, not because of an injury, but because of his involvement in a brawl with the Leafs this past Saturday, and he's booted off the ice. Now, apparently he's booted off, then he came back on to help out teammate Denny Savard, who was being pummeled by Lehman. There he is. Manson took a linesman, Ron Finn, down for the count. Adding insult to injury, Manson and Savard going tag team on Lehman. Andy Van Helmen worked the game, and Brian O'Neill was in attendance. Meanwhile, Manson, well, he still contends that he never did leave the ice. There it is, over the rope again.
I was in a fight behind the net, or a wrestling match more or less, and linesman just picked me up because the open gate was right there. He just pointed me in that direction, and our players were in trouble, then I got back in it. And anytime I see, if it happened again, if I saw our players in trouble, I'd react the same way.
Nice guy. He's considered by many to have been one of the best. Doug Harvey died at a Montreal hospital after battling a long illness.
Doug Harvey was the finest defenseman of his day and one of the best to ever play the game. He was a quarterback on Canadiens teams that played in 10 straight Stanley Cup finals, winning 6 cups, including 5 in a row from 1955 through 1960. Harvey was the prototype of the modern Russian defenseman. He was performing his spinorama move and spearheading the Canadiens' offensive attack 15 years before Bobby Orr came along. They began 3, and Doug Harvey won it 7 times. Between he dominated the game like no one before him. But he never forgot the role of a defenseman. He was one of the premier shot blockers and one of the best ever inside his own zone. Doug Harvey spent 14 of his 20 NHL seasons with the Canadiens before being sold to the New York Rangers in 1961-62. After the Rangers, he had a brief stop with the Detroit Red Wings before ending his career with Scotty Bowman in the St. Louis Blues in 1969 at the age of 44. He was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1973. And in 1985, he was voted to the Canadiens' all-time dream team by the fans as part of the team's 75th anniversary celebrations. His number 2 sweater was retired by the Canadiens in December 1985. Doug Harvey, dead at the age of 65.
And one great hockey man coming up later in sports. We've got hoops and baseball plays of the decade.
All right, and we'll check the weather forecast as the CKY News Hour continues after this.